Excuse me, my schedule was a little bit thrown off, but it's been nice here at where I'm staying here with Jack. He's really started something very wonderful. We had about 20 people yesterday, and we had a wonderful program. And then we'll do Balaram's Purnima. It's not Jayanti. Jayanti is a particular astrological tithi or date, which only refers to Krishna's birthday. It's Balaram Purnima. He's born on the full moon. And today I will go into the city and I think I'll visit the Bhakti Center between 12 and 1 and just take darshan, meet Hemalata Radha, who's come in from Argentina, then go to the Brooklyn Temple and take lunch, and then go to Ram Roy's Kirtan. I haven't done that in a while. So it's been a little bit hectic, but let's start now and let me get to my spot. You know me, I don't like to be late. So let's start. So we'll read from Canto 10, Chapter 3, Text 12. Athainam astaud avadhārya pūruṣaṁ paraṁ natāṅgaḥ kṛta-dhīḥ kṛtāñjaliḥ sva-rociṣā bhārata sūtikā-gṛhaṁ virocayantaṁ gata-bhīḥ prabhāva-vit. Mahārāja Parīkṣit, descendant of King Bharata, Vasudeva could understand that this child was the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Nārāyaṇa. Having concluded this without a doubt, he became fearless, bowing down with folded hands and concentrating his attention. He began to offer prayers to the child, who illuminated his birthplace by his natural influence. Purport: struck with such wonder, Vasudeva now concentrated his attention on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Understanding the influence of the Supreme Lord, he was surely fearless, since he understood that the Lord had appeared to give him protection. Gata-bhīḥ prabhāva-vit. Understanding that the Supreme Personality of Godhead was present, he appropriately offered prayers as follows. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksur Unmalatam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sapadantikam Vansha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaur Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you, O serious Vaishnavas. So now Krishna has been born. And what we've seen is signs of good fortune. Because what could be more fortunate than the presence of God? And what could be more fortunate than to be above illusion and actually see God? Many times I've mentioned we're separated from the divine by our consciousness. So what is it like to see Krishna and see him everywhere? Because that's what prema bhakti means. That's why you become so enthused. Prabhupada said you become thrilled every moment. You become thrilled every moment. Because you're in contact with your love, with your supreme love. And you feel it. I mentioned many times that the ultimate understanding, the ultimate realization is not just knowing God, but to feel God. And that's the ultimate reality. The ultimate reality is this energy and exchange between the supreme absolute reality and the parts that are meant for his pleasure by exchanging love. Rasa Vaisaha, love makes the world go round. So what can be more auspicious actually than the service of Krishna? We don't understand this, and we're trying to enjoy by being served rather than to serve. To be the center, only one person can be there. To serve the center, anyone can have that position. So we should take that position, which is love, and love is enjoyed from both sides, both whom the beloved and the lover. So we should seek service. That's what bhakti means. We had a nice program here yesterday, and we see certain people immediately go to the kitchen to serve out. It's nice. It's the heart. It's the heart. But we have samskaras and misconceptions. Samskaras, impressions, the heart, and misconceptions that make us think that if we become God, we would be happy. If we become famous. I read something yesterday from my Monday morning greetings. And it talked about the most pernicious anartha is the desire for fame. Because fame is the ultimate power to control and enjoy. So it's a misconception. I will be happy as I'm famous. Why? Because I'm famous, I will have control. That's what famous means. If I have control, I can materially enjoy. We want power to move that world around, to conform it right to our desires. So that desire to be famous is so pernicious. So the Bhagavatam is about giving the proper faith. Faith is untrusting faith in something sublime, to give faith in that which is sublime, to make your goal something that can actually satisfy you. And we have that right here with the holy name of Krishna. Krishna has appeared in the form of his holy name But we're not perceiving that because we're not attentive to it. We don't have the right attitude towards it. But when you do, you will realize Krishna in his name. Nama Chintamani Krishna's Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Shuddhaporno Nityamukta Namano Binatvam Namanamano. We realize what? Nama Chintamani Krishna. It's a wish-fulfilling gem. Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. It is the vigraha. It is the form of all rasa, flavor, and life. Shuddhaporno. It's pure. It's complete. Nityam. It gives you liberation. And that name is not different than the name. So we see Krishna will appear. And all the signs of good fortune are there. And the demigods realize this and they begin to celebrate. And then Krishna appears at the most auspicious time. And his father goes into a state of abhuta, wonder, ecstatic wonder. How is it possible that the Supreme Lord has appeared here in the prison, in the womb of my wife, fully dressed in all his splendor and all his beauty? And he begins to shiver and he starts to have this ecstatic sense because this energy, this is we want. We want this energy of love, pure love, love that's eternal, love that's real. And he's feeling this. If this is not a fact, there's no hope in the world. If there's not a goal of ecstasy, there's no hope in the world. So depressing to be an atheist who wants so much power to control and enjoy, and they're not satisfied as the most simple person who has love in their hearts. They can be completely you can be completely satisfied if you have love in your heart. You can never be satisfied if you have everything in the world. It's so simple, yet we are forgetting that fact. And you know what's happening in the world today? Krishna decided to remind everyone. That's what's happening. We've built up a civilization in the world which we're afraid we're going to lose, even though no one was happy in it. Is there any wonder why God is stirring things up? Is there any wonder why God is stirring things up? Because we're in a situation that will destroy us. And it's destroyed everyone, no matter how rich. And what is that situation? Disconnected from the eternal reality that I am a Nityara Krishnara Das. Jiva Sarupa Hoy, Krishnara, that I'm eternal servant of God. We're separated from that reality. And we think we're happy even though we're miserable. Even though our society has opioid epidemics and every type of problem and suffering. So what is Krishna doing? He's uprooting a hellish hellish condition, which we are falsely ascribed happiness to try to give try to give us himself. And maybe we need that. Sometimes we need a little push. And then Nanda Maharaj was so jubilant that he was in the prison. And bhakti means to offer the best, but he couldn't do it physically because he was in the prison. So he decided to do it within his mind. And he began to do it within his mind. Of course, later, Nanda Maharaj could do it physically. And he gave chariots, and he gave horses, and he gave opulence. Actually, America is becoming a poor country now. And I think it's a plan. I think there is global elites. I think there are people who have evil intentions, that bankers or whatever they are control the world in a way to rob people of their wealth. Because people used to get their own houses in their 20s. Now they're lucky they'll move out of their parents' house by the time they're 45. And I suppose soon we'll all be lined up at the bus station in the rain. But Nanda Maharaj, Nanda Ke Ananda Bhayo Jai, he became so ecstatic. Nanda Ke Ananda Bhayo Jai Kaneya Lal. Hati Dia, he gave elephants. Gora Dia, he gave horses. Or Dia, Pala, he gave palanquins. And now he understood this with his child. And without doubt, he became fearless. Because when you understand there is God, and you understand that he is good, and you understand that he's a person that reciprocates the surrender of his devotee, when you understand that, you'll understand fully that Krishna will protect you, which means he'll do what's best. And what is best is not always what we want. But he wants to give himself, and it's worth it. It's worth it, whatever difficulty we undergo. Utsaha nistya dharya. Be patient, be confident. Because it's not cheap. And therefore, if you don't have it immediately, but you have confidence of its price, even if you don't own it right now. And therefore, you do the work and accept your fate. Your fate is nothing else but God giving himself to you. And then he bows down with folded hands and he concentrates his attention and offers prayers. Because the whole birthplace was illuminated. And he became fearless because you take shelter of God, he protects you. So we're not worried about how the world moves around us now or in the future if we're surrendered to God, because he's going to move it for our benefit no matter what we're not, we don't have to control that situation. And since he understood that why is God come, Puritanaya sadhunam vanasaya to duskritam. He comes to protect his devotees. He comes to protect his devotees. Okay, we can read the next verse. Yeah, now I should mention another thing is that there's a difference between Devaki and Nanda. Devaki's parental affection was mixed with a sense of Krishna's divinity that overcame his parental feelings. His parental feelings is, I am your protector. But he's not thinking that towards his son now. He's thinking, you are my protector, which is also a wonderful feeling, but it's not as intimate as the sense of an intimate relationship with God, because there's no distance, there's no fear, there's no obligation. And those things, in a transcendental sense, weaken the force of that love, even though those in that reality, those in that conception are quite satisfied with that love. Vidito si bhavan sakshat purusho prakrite para kevalanu bhavananda sarupa sarva buddha drik. Vasudeva said, my Lord, you are the Supreme Person beyond material existence, and you are the super soul. Your form can be perceived by transcendental knowledge. By which you can be understood as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. I now understand your position perfectly. So he's offering prayers, and when you have love, it has to be expressed. That's why when you have an impersonal conception of God, you can't simultaneously talk about love, because love has to be expressed, and there has to be some object of expression, not yourself. This conception that I realize I'm God. There's no love. Not spiritual love. There's no love. Love means relationship. So in Vasudeva's heart, within his heart, affection for his son and knowledge of these feelings, my son is, but he also has this thing that this is God. Whereas in Braja, in the realm of intimate love, Nanda Maharaj may hear occasionally that his son is God, but it doesn't affect his devotion. And sometimes he even laughs. He said, because sometimes they see Krishna kill great demons. And then they come to Nanda Maharaj and say, your son is the Supreme Lord. He said, my son is the Supreme Lord. My son is the Supreme Controller. He passes urine all over the place. He has no control. He's the absolute truth. He tells all lies. And he's laughing. So this is called, I mentioned it before, Kevala Bhakti. And in our line, we are souls that have that nature and have become attracted to serving God in that way. Sri Guru Charana Padma, Kevala Bhakta Sadma. Sri Guru Charana Padma, Kevala Bhakti Sadma, Bandho Kevala Bhakti. Only Bhakti, no reverence, no distance, no fear. And in our line, this is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came. Why did he come? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came because why did Krishna come? Because he wanted to come and experience this type of love because it's more forceful, and he also wanted to give this type of love, which became Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Krishna wanting this love, Krishna wanting to give this love. Vasudeva thought such a beautiful child has been born, but now Kamsa will come and kill him. But when he understood that it was not an ordinary child, but the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he became fearless. Regarding his son as the Supreme Lord, wonderful in everything, he began offering prayers appropriate for the Supreme Lord. Completely free from fear of Kamsa's atrocity, he accepted the child simultaneously as an object of an affection and an object of worship of prayers. The main spiritual activity, and this is the foundation of the Krishna consciousness movement, the main spiritual activity is kirtan. Prayers are also kirtan. Kirtan means glorification. Because when there is emotion, it has to be expressed. That's why it's so ridiculous in the middle of an ecstatic kirtan and someone comes and wants to show he's a great yogi and he closes his eyes. Emotion has to be expressed. And by the expression of the emotion increases. Bhakti sanjayate bhakti. Next verse. Saeva samprakrtyedam shishvagre trigunatmakam taranutvam yapravishta eva bhavyase. My Lord, you are the same person who in the beginning created this material world by his personal external energy. After the creation of this world of the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, you appear to have entered it, although in fact you have not. And I always tell that story when that famous Sanskrit, one of the most famous Sanskrit pandits, he became, but at that time he was becoming, and he sat in my class and he really liked it because I discussed the 9th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Mayata Tamidam Sarvam Jagata Vyakta Murtana. I pervade everything by energy, but I'm not in them. In other words, I explain how God doesn't have the defect of impersonality. The next verse is God doesn't have the defect of being burdened. The third verse, God does not have the defect of being responsible. She said, yes, that's the meaning of God. He's everywhere without defect. Where there is no circumference, the center is everywhere. And he will appear according to our devotion. because he's a person. And persons reciprocate love. The glory of a person is his ability to reciprocate in relationships. The glory of a person is that he's a mother, a lover, a friend, and is able to reciprocate in relationships. So he said, you're the same person. You appear to enter it, but you have not. Okay, somehow today's kind of a strange day for me. I started late and I'm ending about late. We're getting to the prayers. I hope I gave something, but Yamuna Jaya, she'll remember something that she appreciated. And then
Haribo Maharaj.
Haribo.
Thank you, Maharaj, for a wonderful class. I really just appreciated, just from a personal experience, a couple things when you said there's no one more miserable than an atheist. As you know, I perform in clown and hospitals, and one of my more frequent partners is an atheist. And so we don't talk a lot before we do our performance. And it's so ironic because she is, when she's not performing for the children, the most miserable person on the planet. And it's such a, I just worked with her yesterday, and it's such a contradiction because she is just so miserable. And when you said it, that's the word. And my heart breaks for her. Her husband got a diagnosis recently, and it's just, everything is just this downturn. So I just really felt that so deeply today, having just seen that in real time yesterday.
How often do you have work?
My usual schedule is for my clowning work is 2 days a week, usually Tuesdays and Thursdays. Today, I also have to go in today. So I'm stopping by Yoga Maya on my way up there.
Let me see Yoga Maya. Wow, what a nice studio, huh? Does she ever what's that for, such a big room?
So we have 2 rooms. This is the big one. There's a class going on in the small room right now. So far, it's not to the point where this big room is filled, but it makes also people feel good, in the time of COVID, that they have space. And she's got a giant air purifier over there going. So, I think probably right now the biggest classes, which this Sunday that Bryn teaches, there's probably like 20 people has been the biggest.
Okay, but it's holding up, Yoga Maya?
So far, so good. Yeah, it's been open back in person since April. And so far, people are slowly coming back in. And Bryn is steadfast in trying to make a go of it. And our regular students came back. So we're just trying to build it back now.
Okay, great.
Thanks, Maharaj.
Okay, I will. Anybody else like to say hello today?
Hare Krishna Gumaraj, Tota Gopinath here.
And Kishori Radha.
Haribo, Tota, Chai. We managed to get up to 15 participants today. That's nice. Okay. Anybody else say hello?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Daivi Shakti.
Oh,
Hari.
Okay. I'm counting the days.
Yeah, I know.
My favorite. It's my favorite place, staying there in Kali.
Yeah.
It's so sublime. And then with all the devotees and the kirtan. I was in LA and several people told me, oh, if you ever have one again, I'd like to go, including Manu's brother.
Okay. Wow.
Manu's brother's an incredible Madanga player.
Wow.
And he's married to a South American lady. So they would really like to come in the future. So we'll do it. Okay,
Yeah.
but we have
Okay.
enough. Without effort, we have a full retreat for our facilities, so that's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't think there's there's less people coming on Sunday than I thought. Champak knows the numbers. I know
Okay.
there's at least 3 or 4 coming on Sunday because I know.
I expect 4, I think.
Yeah, 4.
With Champak and you 5.
Right, 5. And all those people, they just kind of want to relax. And
Okay.
this Isabel, she really likes to serve, and I don't know if she's on today, but she can even help you cook those days too, if you want. And someone in the kitchen, and she knows how.
Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
Okay.
Perfect, Mahārāja. Thank you, Haribol.
Great to see you. Thanks for coming on, Daivi Shakti. Hearing is very good. Okay, Haribo.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Gail here.
Oh, yeah, Gail, what's up?
Yeah, a couple of things are up. One is, when you were saying that people who want fame, they want the fame because they want control. I mean, I usually associate the desire for fame with a desire for like self-importance, or attention, but it wasn't intuitive for me that they want control.
Well, let me mention one thing. We want things, but we have needs and desires that have to be fulfilled to keep the mind, body, and soul together. There's nothing wrong with that. And in the contest that I was speaking, I was talking about, excess things. But if you say they want to feel important, that's for control.
I mean, I just think of people who want fame as, they want to feel like, important because
okay. I'm just saying there's a certain extent of needing to feel good about yourself, but it goes beyond that, then why?
I mean, I understand that once you become famous, you do become in a position of control, but to say that that's their motive for becoming famous, I don't know.
Well, what else is the motive?
Like I said, that desire to feel like they're so, like everybody loves me. Everybody, knows me. I'm so important.
Right. So what you want is the world to move around you so that they recognize you.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you this. When you said fate means Krishna gives himself to you, can you expand on that?
Faith means that Krishna.
No, fate. You said fate. Destiny, right? Destiny. Destiny means Krishna is giving himself. It means
that what karma is God moving the world towards you for you. Otherwise, there's no reason for karma. By the way, we had such an ecstatic program on Sunday. You were there. It was so much fun. And then we had Tuesday was so much fun that we decided to do it again on Thursday because it's Balaram's appearance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're free, the devotees, it's really a nice little community developing, and people are coming. So we had, every Tuesday I have a little program. So we had some fun yesterday, and we swung the Julan again, and I spoke, and people love it, Okay. Haribo, anybody else like to say hello?
Hare Krishna Gumaraj, Govinda.
And Braja, thanks for
class.
You guys stayed there late yesterday, huh? You enjoyed so much.
Yeah. It was really great.
What was that girl talking to you about so long? Did you know her?
Oh, yeah. Well, I actually haven't seen her since before the pandemic. She used to be my client. And and I didn't know she was dating Eric Charles. And so that was the first time I've seen her in like almost 3 years. But she's also a massage therapist. And so we were just kind of catching up on
So she was a client of yours.
Yeah, she was a client. She would come get a massage. And also I know her first from Ohana. She would take my yoga classes. So, and then I was surprised to see her there. So that's very nice. She's really, she's a nice girl.
I heard that's the third week in a row.
Oh, is it? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Lal told me that there's a couple that comes, like they came twice and now it seems they come third. Okay, well, it's nice. And it just shows you, we were talking, if you make the right atmosphere, Krishna will send people.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's nice to see it expand. Okay.
Great. Thanks.
Okay. Anybody else?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj, Namaste here.
Oh, Haribol, namaste.
Haribol. Haribol. Thank you so much for the class.
Okay, and I know you sent the donation, and your sister, and she came that day and I told you everything again. So that was nice.
It was nothing. I wish I could do more. Thank you, Guru Maharaj.
Okay, who else?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you very much for the class.
Thank you. Haribol. Sri Radhika, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Gurudev. Hare Krishna. Thanks for the class.
Okay. Anybody else? Otherwise, I'm going to get ready. I'm going to the city today. Okay. Vanshakalpa tarubhyascha kripa